millions in the pits and you take no prisoners. 1 minute you're up $500,000 in soybeans, and the next, boom, your kids don't go to college and they've repossessed your Bentley. Are you with me?
The revolution starts now.
We have to pass the bill so that you can find out what is in it.
Turn those machines back on!
And we have to start by building a wall, a big, beautiful, powerful wall.
Show me the money!
You are fake news.
Oh, good for you. And how was it?
I don't know when they decided that they wanted to make a virtue out of selfishness.
If we lose freedom here, there's no place to escape to. This is the last stand on Earth.
Well, that's the revolution here on Lake Effect Radio. See, I'm about to go and butcher my own show name. And hopefully that cheesy opener sort of fits the mood on this Friday and that. But we have Aaron from, because I almost messed this up earlier in that. I'm going to look at the name because I hate butchering things because I get my last name butchered a lot. So Drink Local and Drink Tap.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, thanks for having me today.
Oh, no problem. So you don't have to reach over and that far and that.
Thank you.
So how's it going today?
Good. I just got back from World Water Week in Stockholm, and just, yeah, it's been a good week. How are you?
Yeah, going,
Good.
Friday and that,
Yeah.
Coasting. Getting ready for the weekend, sort of, being out and that.
Mm-hmm.
So, you want to tell us a little about your organization? Especially being the founder.
Yeah.
You should throw that in there and that,
Sure. So I'm Erin Huber, the executive director and founder of Drink Local, Drink Tap. I started this organization in 2010. Mostly because I cared a lot, and I care, obviously, a lot about water issues, but also humanitarian issues. And water touches all of us, so I get to help people and help the environment in my job.
Fair enough. So you're sort of killing two birds with one stone.
Or feeding two birds with one piece of bread.
Touche. I'll give you that.
So I actually went to Lakeland Community College about 15 years ago before I went to Tri-C and Cleveland State. And during my time at Cleveland State, I was deciding whether or not to go for a master's degree out west around a bunch of like-minded environmental type people in Oregon. And I decided to stay at Cleveland State. And when I was there, Mayor Frank Jackson, mayor of Cleveland, held his first Sustainable Cleveland 2019 summit. And after that summit was over, I participated in it. A bunch of different groups broke out from that summit related to community safety, environmental issues, education, all sorts of things related to Northeast Ohio and topics that regular citizens wanted to improve. One was water. I ended up continuing on in that group. And although we wanted to solve all the problems of Lake Erie and our watersheds in Northeast Ohio, we thought of this Drink Local, Drink Tap campaign as a way to just get regular day-to-day people started and thinking about water issues. Because I don't know about you, but even when I'm home in the States, I don't really think about the water I'm getting from my faucet, my toilet, my shower, my garden hose, whatever it might be. I definitely take it for granted. And I live a mile from the lake. So that's enough about how we started, but just wanted to give you the background on the name and how we got to be.
No, I sort of get that in a way, and occasionally I'm sort of guilty. But then in a way, because me sort of always being interested in history, going back to, the not great days of the Cuyahoga River. Mm-hmm. That always sort of sticks in there,
Definitely. And I mean, we just had the 50th anniversary of the last time the Cuyahoga River burned. In fact, we have an event every June called 4 Miles for Water, and we held it on that day this year. It's really quite a lot of progress that we've made, but we still have a long way to go. And since 50 years ago, what we now have as part of the problems of our lake are algal blooms, in part, due to climate change effects and farming issues, and we have tons of microplastic pollution issues. So plastics entering our waterways, breaking down into tiny pieces, and getting into our food systems and our environment. So we still have a lot of work to do.
No, I get it. Most definitely. But the one thing right now, do you guys have any upcoming things?
Yeah, we
planned?
do. We do. Thanks for asking. So next Thursday, we're holding our 7th annual splash party. It's on top of the Ernst & Young Tower down in the Flats in Cleveland, overlooking Lake Erie at sunset. It's from 7 to 10 p.m., and tickets are available at the door or online until September 9th. But it's our fancy fundraiser, I like to say. So if you're looking for a nice night out with your partner or a friend, please join us for that. We also have they're all free, beach cleanup, our last one of the year, coming up Saturday, September 28th from 10 to noon at Edgewater Park. And you can connect with us on our website or social media to learn more.
Which is?
Drink Local. drinktap.org is our website, and we're at Drink Local Drink Tap on Facebook, Instagram, and Drink Local Tap on Twitter.
Very nice. I forgot to say that before. And that I always go and, go about that whole stuff.
It's okay.
So, what would you say is that one, that one event out of the whole year that best describes your organization?
I would definitely have to. I would be torn between our beach cleanups, and 4 Miles for Water, but it would definitely be 4 Miles for Water, which is every June down at Nautica. We host about 500 runners and walkers. There's a free All Things Water Festival where people of all ages can come do interactive things related to water and learn about water issues both locally and globally. And during the 4 mile race, you actually have the opportunity to carry a jug of water with you. And this is to mimic or get a sense of what many people have to do in the world every day. They have to search for water. They walk an average of 4 miles a day, and they collect water that is likely not even safe for their families.
Fair enough. But with that, I'll sort of put this twist. So what was that most memorable moment in helping people that you had so far?
Oh, this is the big one. Well, before I started Drink Local Drink Tap, I did some other things. So I have memories from different parts of my life. But in water, I would have to say, definitely, I'll say globally, we work in East Africa and Uganda, and we build water and sanitation projects there. And when I am there for a project opening and see how happy everyone is, that's wonderful. But the most gratifying part is when you continue to go back to those projects and the communities are managing them, and you start to see from your naked eye the change in health and happiness and well-being, and just the vibrancy of a community really changes when they have water. So I think it's those moments that bring me the most joy.
I gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah, you like sort of my own little things. I'm sort of going off the reservation. I always, do those little
okay.
small things and that. But the funny thing is, I was actually going to go and say, with your, world reach, where do you guys go? But you sort of nailed that.
Sure. So we started working in Uganda. Well, I made my first trip to Africa in 2011, and I'd love to share a bit about that if you don't mind.
Oh, that you're good.
Okay. So I was in a classroom in 2010. We started this Drink Local, Drink Tap campaign, and I was in a Cleveland City school. The teacher was from Uganda, and her kids in East Cleveland were writing pen pal letters to kids in a village in Uganda. And the kids in the village in Uganda said they had no water. And so the next day, I got on the phone with some really big organizations, and I said, and I knew about the global water crisis, but I had never been that close to hearing about it personally. So I said, what can I do? These 700 kids need water. What's the process in, helping these people? And I got laughed at. So the type of person I am, I got a little angry, and I decided to just go to Africa and learn about water in East Africa and meet these kids and see for myself what was going on. So a friend of mine, Laura Wattillo Blake, is a travel photojournalist, and her and I and my friend Tom Condolis all went to Africa, started making a documentary. None of us had seen the water crisis before firsthand. And the first day on the continent of Africa in 2011, I went to the second largest slum in the world, turned on the cameras, and started learning. And that day changed my life forever. To add a little bit of humor here, never wore sandals to work again. Walking through the slum with 1 million people in it, you realize that there are no toilets, and that's not mud that you're walking through. So it really humbled me. I cried all night. I didn't sleep all night. And I was questioning a lot whether or not if I was even cut out for more days of this sort of learning, right? So eventually I made it to Uganda, and I met these kids, these 700 kids, and walked with them to get water. And I could not carry this stuff myself. It really gave me the energy I needed to really find a solution. And so fast forward, we opened up a water project for them 1 year later. And fast forward to today, we've helped over 25,000 people in Uganda get clean water and 10,000 get sanitation. So,
Nice.
Yeah, we've really, really done a lot since then.
Huge twist.
Mm-hmm.
But that sort of goes in a way, like especially in your bio and that off your website and that, with going with the whole entrepreneurship thing of needing to be sort of creating ideas / coming up with, your own thing of how to solve it.
Yeah, and I guess I've always been a problem solver, or I see a problem and I can't unsee it. So I go and I try to find a solution. And it might not always be me, right? I'm probably not the best person to solve most problems, but I know how to find people who are. So I'm not an engineer. I'm not a hydrologist. I'm not any of these things, but I hire those people. I build those teams and I manage that process. So my job as a director is a lot of fundraising, networking, managing the systems that we develop, and some people think I'm out in the field in Uganda, like digging a well. That's not really what I do.
Occasionally,
Yeah.
well, sir, maybe help me now, but
Yeah.
not your huge forte.
No, and we have staff in Uganda. We hire all local people. We have about 40 people that we work with on a regular basis. So we've created jobs in Uganda. We've created jobs here in Cleveland, and I think that's what a social entrepreneur or an entrepreneur does, right?
Yeah.
You're a creator. You're a visionary who is also a doer.
Not including in a way you're working with your strengths, your weaknesses, that you're sort of finding those people to sort of plug those to make the whole wheel go round.
And don't get me wrong, I'm stubborn, but I also know when to call for help, right? And I know when I'm not the one to do a certain task. So I'm very, very lucky to be working in 2 Great Lakes regions of the world. I have 2 sets of teams. I have a wonderful board of directors here in Cleveland. And also thinking about the audience that might be listening, we do have an associate board of people who might not quite fit the board of directors profile, but want a really hands-on team to volunteer with year-round with the organization. So if you have a skill or something or passion for water that you want to bring to the table, we definitely welcome you to that associate board.
Well, that's sort of a good branch off in that, because are you guys always sort of looking for, like, let's say normal volunteers that, they don't want to go with that whole spiel, that just want to go out, help, let's say, with one of those projects down the line? is there a certain, way that they go and, sign up or reach out to you guys?
So for any volunteering opportunities, you can contact Russa, RUSSA, at drinklocaldrinktap.org, and she will filter those inquiries to the right person. Or you can go on our website and just take a look. We offer internships. You can just come to a beach cleanup, which is local at Edgewater Park, about 30 minutes from Lakeland. There's the associate board. You can always be a fundraiser for a project in Uganda. You can invite us to your college to speak. Whatever is your interest, we can probably find a way to harness your energy and work together.
Fair enough. So, in a way, what? No, I'm not going to do that. Let me think of that. So, you have any other different new ideas for this upcoming new year that's going to be coming up? Yeah, it's kind of hard to, swallow that it's going to be that cold time of year again.
Well, I'm lucky. I work in Africa 4 times a year, so I get away for some of the winter, though I'm breathing in dust and other things. But
hey, I will take that in a heartbeat.
I'll send you a few photos of where I have to go to the bathroom, and you can decide. So, wait, what did you ask me? Now I completely forgot.
If you have any new ideas rolling out for the whole new year.
So I've been trying to finish this documentary about water stress and climate change in the Kilimanjaro region of Tanzania. So we're working locally in Cleveland to get that edited and finished. I'm so hoping by the end of the year. So definitely working hard on that. We also have local school programming in Northeast Ohio, mostly grades 4 through 8. And that's called our Wavemaker program. And we are doing a complete overhaul of that, creating videos, online learning. I really want to write a children's book along with that. So that's taking place over the next 18 months or so. So I'm very excited because our program hasn't changed much since we started. So I'm really loving the freshness happening.
Yeah, the revamp in that.
Yeah.
No, I get it.
Yeah.
I get it.
And next year's our 10-year anniversary. So we're trying to think of, ways that we can celebrate that and really make a big deal
Fair
out
enough.
of that. Yeah.
So what in 5 years is your vision for the organization?
That's always a good one. Well, in my world of the nonprofit life, funding can be unpredictable. It gets affected by so many different things, by your networks, changing board members. Moen, the faucet company, is a big partner of ours. Connecticut, the economic situation of the world can shift, and maybe those change. So it depends on funding, but I would love to hire a few key positions here in Cleveland and a few more in Uganda that would really open up my capacity to fully do my job as an executive director. I'm still in a lot of the day-to-day stuff, though I have a great team. There are a few new people that we need to bring to the team to really make it complete. In addition to that, I would really... I know for a fact that we can very easily reach 50,000 people with clean water in the next 5 years. But if something crazy, wonderful happens with funding, I have 30,000 people in my pipeline right now waiting for water projects. So maybe that can even double. I don't know. So much is funding dependent. But in the world, what I would really love to see is to have some of the work that we do almost become irrelevant. I would love to see a new normal in society where we use less single-use plastics, and I don't need to have educators in classrooms teaching kids not to do these things. I would love to not have to do beach cleanups anymore. I would love to see the pollution go away. So there are a few things that I would dream of not having to do anymore because the world got better.
Fair enough. Fair enough. That it it's still kind of amazing still yet today with sort of our, how do I put it, that our society's sort of just a touch lazier than normal in a way.
I mean, I guess the way that I look at it, just because I live in this in the day-to-day, right, is that our defaults are not set up correctly. When you update your computer, you press yes, 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 yes when there's an update. You don't think about it. If we go to the store and we get handed a plastic bag or 5 every time you go, why are we going to change, right? So we have to change those defaults. Just getting back from Europe last week, I can tell you it's very different, right? You go to a store, you don't have your own bag in some stores. You're carrying all of that stuff in your purse, your hands, you're making a couple trips. If you just don't have this stuff or you make people buy a bag or whatever it is, people start to think now when they get out of their car, oh, I have that reusable bag in the back. I should bring that because they're going to charge me for a bag. So our defaults are not quite there yet. We're honestly a bit behind many parts of the world. And I'll blanket that statement as maybe an Ohio, Northeast Ohio kind of statement, because I think the U.S. is very diverse in its thinking. But yeah, it's kind of crazy. You know, Rwanda is the country next to Uganda, went through genocide in the 90s, and you can't get your luggage into that country if you have plastic bags in it. They will take your plastic bags. So a country that went through genocide in the 90s now they have nationwide cleanup days. They don't allow plastic bags in the country, visitors or not. I mean, very, very progressive. They want to take care of their country. My question to everybody listening is, why don't we?
Fair enough.
You know?
Yeah.
Some people do, and the movement is happening. But I really want it to be like uncool to use a plastic bag or single-use plastics. It's
it's slowly turning, very slowly.
Yeah. But so you know what I expect of you after you leave this interview today.
And what is that? Not to go and do something like that. Like me, I use the recycle a lot, sort of decently a lot at home.
All right, which one of these things could you do after today? I'm challenging you. Use a reusable water bottle every day and stop buying plastic bottles. Stop using straws. That's a pretty easy one for guys. Guys don't tend to like straws too much.
It's very rarely.
Or stop using single-use plastic bags. If you forget to bring your reusable bag to the store, carry the stuff out with you.
Should see the one hanging on my book bag right now.
No, I don't want to see it.
No, because I brought that stuff up here in it.
Oh, but I guess what I'm saying is like all of us can do something today, and it actually doesn't cost us any money. It probably, if you stop drinking bottled water, it's going to save you money. So, just food for thought, and a little challenge for you, friendly challenge.
Actually, I sort of accept your challenge, and somewhat I'm already sort of doing that.
Okay, good.
So,
we'll own it. Good.
Yeah. Fair enough. Challenge is accepted.
Okay.
Not including back there. I'll sort of throw this at you. Mm-hmm. So instead of carrying things or having those kind of bags, we actually have reusable bags when we're going around the campus and all our different things. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, yeah.
You got this. See?
Yeah, it's not that hard.
Yeah. Yeah. So, but anyways, yes, I would love to see some of the defaults in our world change, and for especially us locally to push for some of that. You know, people kind of disregard local elections sometimes or whatever, but that stuff is so important. Those local council people or your mayor or whatever, they're the ones who can say, oh yeah, these 5 people signed a petition. People don't want plastic bags anymore for these big retailers. No big deal. Let's do it. That's what the people want. They can make things happen so easily, whereas like from the federal government down or the state of Ohio down, it takes much longer to get stuff done.
Yeah.
So
definitely.
Don't disregard pushing your local politicians to make these small changes in your communities either.
Which, if you think some retailers are sort of doing that,
Mm-hmm.
like Aldi's.
And Aldi's
Save
has
a
been at it for a
lot.
long time.
Yeah. I can remember that back in the 90s when I was growing up.
Aren't they a European company? I think
I
they
don't
are.
remember.
I think they are.
I think. Especially with the name was spelled. I was
Mm-hmm.
always thinking that. I never actually... This sort of brings up a thing that I've been meaning to research that I forgot about many times ago. So, touche on that.
All right.
Well, even Menards is sorta
Mm-hmm.
ish in a way. Then, you know, all the big, was it wholesalers, and that like BJ's,
Yeah. Yeah.
all those guys.
Well, and, you know, I would say that, you know, some companies just have that mindset, whether because they're a globally based company or not, I don't know. But let's talk about maybe a more local chain like Kroger's or some other grocery chains that are nationwide. They've gotten the push from the Californians and the Oregonians, yes.
Yeah, that works.
Oregonians. And they've gotten the push from these people, and so nationwide they just say, okay, we're going to charge for bags. Every time you use a bag, we're going to charge you for it. So, yeah, I mean, it's happening, but we as consumers, we vote every day with how we shop. So,
True.
yeah.
So, what got you no. I'm trying to think, what was I going to do? Because you sort of went there, thought of something off the top of my head, darn.
Sorry.
No, it's all
Interested
good.
in water, or is that what you're
No. So, going through school, did you ever really think that you would necessarily want to start a nonprofit? Before the whole Mayor, Jackson, or, no, other
Yeah,
guy.
You did, Mayor Frank Jackson.
Or, yeah.
You did it. Yeah.
I keep on messing those guys because both of them have
That's
just
okay.
been in.
That's okay. No. The short answer is no. I still don't know if I wanted to start a nonprofit. We were chatting before the show started today, and it's not easy, right? There's a lot of it's not all puppies and rainbows. It is a lot of really hard work. You're learning something new every day. There's a lot of paperwork, a lot of bookkeeping, a lot of systematic stuff, team building, following the law, doing the fundraising, thanking people properly, making sure you're continuing to build
Probably
relationships.
permits and stuff and all that.
Permits. I manage a nonprofit license in Uganda countrywide, and I manage the license here, and luckily I have help managing volunteers and everything, but there's a lot that goes into it. And the fact of the matter is, when you're leading and you're a founder and everything, you are not the one, or you shouldn't be the one, right, long term, doing the stuff. And so a lot of people enter the nonprofit world thinking, I need to start my own nonprofit because I care about this. And I want to tell all y'all that are listening, pump the brakes. Pump your brakes. Think about what you're actually saying. Why do you want to do this? Is it a specific cause? Are you a social entrepreneur? Did you get inspired by a certain organization or person? Who have you talked to? Have you done research on organizations doing the type of work that you want to do? I can tell you that if we were big enough right now and you were interested in water and you had a skill set we needed, I'd hire you. The existing nonprofits, there are way too many of us, and we need good staff. And although I definitely don't believe that you should be a poor martyr working in the nonprofit world because we need the biggest and brightest minds solving the world's biggest problems, the pay isn't always that great, right? And so the romance of it can wear off a little bit. And I've seen a lot of international agencies specifically go into, Africa wanting to help people, thinking they have to start their own nonprofit. They're a dime a dozen there, but maybe they're working in water and maybe they don't know anything about water, or maybe they don't know anything about management, or maybe they don't know anything about fundraising. And all of a sudden you find yourself in this mess, right?
Yeah.
And then the people that you care about, that you want to serve, the reason you went into it in the first place, those are the people who still don't get served properly, right? And so I really urge anybody who says, I want to start my own nonprofit, slow your roll, make some phone calls, meet some people, research organizations that are doing the type of work you're looking for, get a couple internships. There are so many ways, if you're good at accounting or Excel sheets or lawyering or whatever, a nonprofit can use you, whether that's in a volunteer capacity and you have another full-time job, or you are a consultant, or you work for a nonprofit full-time. So there are different ways to get involved in my world without having to be the founder, the leader, the this, the that. And I will tell you that the only reason that we got our nonprofit status, we waited a few years to do it. The only reason we did it is because we couldn't find anyone else in Northeast Ohio or Ohio that was doing what we were doing. And so we decided, and I was urged by mentors and things, that it was time, we were ready, we had done our due diligence, let's apply for our nonprofit status.
So I get it in a way. That's almost like here, we were always internal in that. When we decided to go whole broadcasting on the internet and that, we didn't I tried to reach out to some people to sort of help, but didn't get much. Sort of, let it go for like a half year, try to figure out the whole bells and whistles and that before really start writing up this is the way we're going. No, I get it.
Yeah, I mean, it's, but I mean, it is, at least for sure, at this point in my life, my dream job. I feel very much in tune with my role and love my organization and my work. And I feel very, very lucky to have that. I know a lot of people don't. So I'm very, very lucky.
Yeah. Yeah, what I call that is experimentation under fire. In a way, because it doesn't always work out well at first.
No,
so
it doesn't. You're right. And it's a struggle every day for funding, for staff, for volunteers, it's a struggle every day. So,
no, I get it.
But for me, a fun struggle.
So is it any other certain organizations you work with besides your own?
Oh, yeah. I can bring up a few. So one is in Uganda. We partner with and we hire a locally led Ugandan women's group who, when we have the funds for this, because it's not an extra thing in our mind, but it's not the core water and sanitation that we do. We'll hire them to come and teach girls how to make reusable sanitary pads. A lot of girls drop out of school permanently when they start, going through puberty, and that's just not right. So they teach them how to make reusable ones that they can wash, and it's really awesome to see the change that happens with the sense of pride with the girls and everything. So that partnership is great. We have a lot of wonderful local partners in Northeast Ohio, Cleveland Metro Parks, Northeast Ohio Regional Sewer District, Alliance for the Great Lakes, all the schools that we work with through our Wavemaker programming. It's really, really wonderful.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Outside of that, I really... Except if you want to go, how to get involved with you guys again.
That's a
the
great
events,
ending.
Social media.
Perfect.
And that.
Yeah. So for anybody who wasn't on earlier, our last beach cleanup of the year at Edgewater Park is September 28th. It's a Saturday from 10 to noon. Please follow us on social media to learn more. Our website is drinklocaldrinktap.org. Facebook and Instagram, Drink Local Drink Tap, and Twitter, Drink Local Tap. And again, we have volunteer opportunities year-round on our associate board, beach cleanups, internships, and we also have a fundraiser coming up next Thursday, September 12th, and you can learn more about that on our website as well.
Very nice.
Thanks
been
for
a
having
pleasure.
me. Yeah, this was great. Thank
Good
you.
times. And that, well, we'll catch you maybe at some other time because I'll tell you off air and that
Okay.
but we'll catch everyone soon.